Look what I found. I am just so utterly elated. I always see this on the highway, and today I'm like, I'm going to that place on the highway. I am just so thankful, like so thankful that I even decided to just be myself today. Shout out to my cousin for like the push. Bitch, get out of the country, okay? So I found this park. I'm gonna sit this way for a quick second just so y'all can see what I see the other way. And I got my Starbucks, some water, some snacks, like a charcuterie board. I couldn't find no portable wine, so I was like, whatever, we're just gonna take $20 and spoil ourselves today. It was more than that because I had to put gas in the car, but I'm just thankful that I decided to honor my feelings and myself today and just do what makes my soul happy. So sometimes we need that push, that wake-up call. Yesterday, I'm closing out my cycle. I'm always like so open about that lately. I don't know why. I don't care if y'all know I'm on my dot. That shit is life, it is what it is. So I've been really like intentional about healing and journaling and kind of like pushing myself forward. So I feel like I wasn't honoring what I have been always saying to people, like as far as encouraging you to like push yourself to kind of get out there. And while I was being extremely still, I'm still being extremely still, extremely patient, allowing the Lord to guide me, because I've never been so patient in a down season in my life. Typically, I'm like super aggressive, hurry up, let's get this money, get out of there, take anything that is sending you money. And I'm like, that's not what my purpose is right now. I feel like the lighting is better this way. I feel like I have to be obedient, sorry, I can't see the lake no more. I have to be obedient to what it is my calling is. And this phase of my life, it's not supposed to be just take anything to get a bag, because the last time I took something to just get a bag, I ended up in this very situation. And it's not to say that what I did wasn't meant to be, because I've worked with some of the most top companies in the world. Like, I've always only worked for like Fortune companies, and I don't even know how I've been blessed to do so. But like, usually people take like mom and pop stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm going for the top 100 companies in the world. Like, what? It's always been like that. It's so funny. But I say that all to say this. I have been intentional about my next steps. People keep asking me, where are you moving next? Where are you going next? And I'm like, I don't know. And I haven't really even put myself out there to say this is where I'm going. I just knew two things. I didn't want to be in the States anymore, and I knew that I wanted to also find my equal first. And I keep saying like, wherever I think, and this is just me speaking off the strength of pure manifestation, me putting my manifestations out there, and I'm now going to do it publicly. Like, I don't think that I was intentional about where I'm supposed to go next, because I kept saying I want to call in my kingdom spouse, I want to call in my equal, as I'm calling this human into my life, my kingdom spouse. Wherever my husband is, that's where I'm going. So no, I don't know where I'm going next, because I don't know if I've met my kingdom spouse. Does that make sense? I just know that I have dreams of doing some things overseas, and I have to be intentional about those things, but those are just goals. Does that make sense? Because no one says that you have to continue to place roots in America. I think that's also why many of us are not growing and expanding, because we keep placing our bets in America. We're not interested in expanding. We're not interested in, you know, moving to different countries and taking our services to different lands, knowing damn well that we could still thrive and take these same services and, you know, things to another realm, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm intentional about my goals in other countries. Like, I have a visa for Ghana, a tourist visa. I've had it for 2 years and I haven't been able to get there, but guess what? I still have it for a couple more years, so I know that I'm going to get there. You know what I mean? So I'm just very intentional right now about my goals, and I just know that I'm calling in my kingdom spouse. So wherever he desires for us to lie and rest our heads, that's where I'll be next. So stop asking me, Nadia, where are you moving to next? And the reason why they're asking, because I haven't recorded, well, let's say I haven't posted the details on YouTube because I've always been recording. I just never, look at that. This beautiful white bird. It's not a seagull, but he's just like floating on the, it's a swan. Oh my gosh. I know y'all probably can't even see that shit. It's like right over there. It just flew all across the lake, and then there's like a school of geese and stuff. I'm just like so happy I came here. Now I gotta look up what a swan means. But I have been traveling for the last 2 years, and back in 2021 March I had moved to Norfolk, Virginia, and I took a spot downtown. And initially I thought that whole move was going to be a fluke, because when I got there, the apartment that I scheduled and wanted was so ghetto, like ghetto. And anybody knows me knows that I was born with a pinky up. So it was impossible, like fucking impossible, that I was supposed to live there. And I wanted to be like in the culture, not too far away from the hood, but in the culture. And this shit was just, I witnessed drug deals in 2.2 seconds in broad daylight, and they thought I was gonna fucking live there. They was like, the apartment's not ready. And when I just like somehow went into the apartment, I'm not even gonna say I broke in, because I didn't. But when I walked in there, I had drove 12 hours from Montgomery to get there. And when I finally got there, the apartment wasn't ready. Thank God I had traveled for 2 years before. I had like 50,000 points. So I used my points to get a hotel for a couple nights, because I had to find an apartment, and I was starting work like in a week. So thankfully I took a whole week off before I was supposed to start my job, and thankfully I did, because if I had to start work that Monday, I had left on a Friday, I would have been fucking pissed. So I went to my other top choices, which were downtown Norfolk, and ended up getting the bougie apartment that I initially wanted. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pay for it. Like, I was just nervous. It was like $1,300. And my business was doing well. You know, I was shipping out Martian Pox like all the time from B times 2, which were like basically spiritual wellness products, sage packs, incense, earrings. Like, just if somebody ordered multiple items from the website, I would just create like a little self-care package. Shout out to Nuru and Latoya, because we kind of all do the same things. So I was like, all right, cool, let's do that. And little do I know that my business would literally halt, because now I went in as a business development representative for a steamship line, and that was when it was like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to ship a container overseas. Man, that shit was wild as hell, because these are small businesses now. What small business has that type of money to do it? Then Targets, Home Depots, the Walmarts, you know, these big companies were basically buying out the vessels. So if you didn't have the clout, because that's basically what it was, if you didn't have the clout to get on a steamship line, you wasn't getting on. So it was a really interesting time, you know. And then I had got separated from the company because I didn't want to proceed with some CDC protocols. And then I was like, F, what am I going to do? So I ended up becoming a waitress at a local hotel, Bougie Vibes. It was a Michelin star inspired hotel that I worked at, the restaurant. And I wanted to work in the morning because I wanted to have that time freedom. And sometimes I wish I probably went at night instead. But I was like, you know what? It's cool. I don't want to be the token black girl that's the waitress. You know, I'd rather work in the morning. I still have my time. I start at 5 a.m. and by 12 o'clock I'll be done. And that worked perfect for me for a while. And then I ended up staying in Norfolk probably like almost 2 years. And then, I did 2 years. And then I started applying for jobs back in the logistics industry. And long and behold, I was the only applicant for this foreign trade zone manager job. And I ended up moving to Reno, Nevada, February 2022, 222. And that was all by faith, because let me tell you, the little money that I had was all in the stock market. Like, I didn't want to take anything out. I had money saved for the business, and I had money saved for this, and then I had I had 2 stock portfolios, 2 life insurance policies, like a small savings, and that was it. I was basically surviving off of the restaurant income because I could, that was enough. And then I got this job paying a decent salary, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna use this to fluff up my stock portfolio. I'm telling y'all all the fucking business. And I was happy I did that. So I moved to Reno, and my company paid for a car and a hotel for me for a month, which was fucking incredible, because when I had first applied for the job, the apartments were only like $900 for like a 2-bedroom, like really, really nice spaces. But by the time I had got there, February now into March, they had tripled in price. Everything went up. This is when gas was like $6. Like, it was crazy as hell. So I was like, bruh, my whole salary is about to now go to the cost of living, which was pretty messy, because I probably should have asked for more money had I done my research, you know what I mean, of the company at that time. But technically I did, because when I signed the paperwork, everything was still very affordable, and it was actually less than my cost of living in Virginia. But I had to keep my apartment in Virginia, so now I had to sustain 2 houses, one in Virginia Beach and one in Reno, Nevada. I had 2 cars now, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who am I, Big Willie style, okay? So, Bro, I thought somebody was moving my car, but I forgot I parked on a whole nother side. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm able to do this. And I'm thankful that I was able to do that, because I had been in a weird financial position as far as me just 100% living off of BUtimes2.com. And now I'm just like, all right, how am I going to be able to sustain this? So I loved every single opportunity that I had in Reno. Like, if I could literally copy and paste my life and put it in another coast, I would have. I was the only token black girl there. Like, there was no black people really in Reno, probably like 100 of us, I swear. And it was just I still enjoyed it. Like, I made some great connections. I traveled a lot when I was there. Unfortunately, I had a family member become ill, and I ended up forfeiting my career for them. And that ended up me in the position where I am now. And I'm gonna be frank, I feel like I lost everything that I've built up, everything that I was building up, I forfeited for someone else. And I can't say that I wouldn't do it again, but I wouldn't have stayed here as long as I was supposed to or had intended. I should have just went back home where I was in Reno or LA at that time. But I was trying to transfer my position for 6 months, like literally from July all the way until like November, I had applied for so many positions within the company. Like, I could not get a transfer for my life. It didn't matter which position, which nothing, and it just was not happening. And the closest was like Tennessee, and I was like, I don't want to fucking go there either. I'm tired of going to the places where there's like 3 black people, and I just don't want to do that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to let go of the job. And that's how I ended up coming here to Alabama. Do I regret that? 100%. But at the same time, I don't feel like it was all in vain, because when I left, I ended up doing a lock class with Tahira of Sweet Twist Locks, And she's huge, you know, out in Missouri, I believe she is, and Atlanta. And that's where Atlanta is, where I took the class. So now I'm learning how to do like micro locks actively. And now I'm like, all right, cool. That was always supposed to be my bread and butter. I was supposed to take that license and go back to Cali and just do that full-fledged. Could still be a thing, who knows? But you know what? I'm going to continue to be on this journey. I feel like I'm going through a low season, and that's perfectly okay. But that's because I continuously keep putting people before me. And sometimes you just have to think about it, like, if you're in a position where you feel like, okay, if I make this sacrifice, do I feel like that person would do it for me? That's the question that I should have asked myself. My dad taught me, like, years and years ago when I was getting out of an engagement, he was like, write down all of the pros, all of the cons, and if the cons outweigh the pros, then that's how you make your decision whether to stay in an engagement or not. I should have did the same fucking thing in this situation, and I did not. And honestly, lesson learned, chalk it up, took a hook to the chin. And now I'm like, I've learned Forex in this time since December. Shout out to Flygo University. I literally learned Forex. And when I tell you what I'm about to do, because I have this skill now, it's about to be ignorant. It's a skill that is greater than any job in the entire world. You hear me? Like, for you to have the opportunity to become your own bank, for you to have your opportunity to learn the stock market and really intentionally try to predict what it's supposed to do and make money off of its gains or losses, or no matter which direction you're going in, that is something that you cannot toss up. You know what I mean? So now I'm just thankful that I have this opportunity, because while it is that I may feel like I'm in a low position because I feel like I don't know the direction that I'm going, but I'm intentionally trusting God. And I just saw 444 on the clock, even though it said 1644, which is 444 on military time. I'm intentionally trusting that all will be well, because all is well. Okay? And I'm so thankful that I'm here right now. Like, I gotta set my alarm because I have a podcast recorded and I don't want to miss it. But I'm just thankful. I'm really intentionally thankful that I'm here. And I know that in the next coming weeks, I'm about to show my ass, by the way. Like, y'all gonna say, okay, she said she was gonna show her. I'm gonna show my ass. You hear me? Show my ass. I gotta start removing some of these videos on my SD card off to my hard drive because I don't need them anymore, and I need to start recording more videos. But I'm about to show my ass, and I'm gonna show y'all the whole entire way, because I just want to say thank you to the people who have really encouraged me during this time, who have really kept me going during this time, who have poured into me spiritually, physically, financially, just loving me, you know, and intentional about loving me. You know, sometimes we do things for people and then they're intentional about disrespecting you or abusing you emotionally, physically, financially. And when you wake up, the rose-colored lenses come off. You be like, nigga. If you white, don't say that. But you be like, how did I get myself in this predicament? So just know, if you've done something positive for me during this time, in these last 7-8 months that I've been really in a fucking daze, but I'll say this, I've been in intentional days, because for the last 6 months I've been learning and studying and literally in school learning the stock market. And this is a always never ending learning school. So I've been intentional about what I've been learning, and to everyone who has supported me during that time, you will be blessed. Trust and believe. All right, so I love y'all. One last time for the lookbook. This is my life for right now. It is beautiful. It is well. I am well. Be intentional with your life. Be intentional with your love. Don't allow people to hinder you from growing. Everyone has a season of their life where they don't understand or overstand why they may be going through something. But this is like an ascension for me. I know that I'm developing greater spiritual gifts during this time, and I needed this silence in order to tap into those gifts. So thank you, Source, for that. Thank you to my ancestors, because y'all know I'm about to fuck it up. And I appreciate everyone for checking this video out. Peace.